That's better. Yep, still basking in the glory of being accused of blasphemy by Unitarians. What could be better than that? It's quite the honor and privilege, I think. You'd think they'd have the brains to withdraw the accusation, but no. So that's Harvey Shepherd, former Gazette religion columnist, who actually wrote some quite good newspaper articles in the past about my...
Just move it, thank you.
Move it, thank you. Maybe you should... Maybe you should tell President Morales and Jim Key to just move it, thank you, by telling them to withdraw their insane blasphemous libel accusation against me. That would be a pretty good idea if they got to move on with that. So this church member who said just move it, because I was maybe slightly in the way on the sidewalk, even though I was standing to the side to allow them to pass, you know, she wants me to just move it in terms of what might be a minor obstruction on the sidewalk. But she will not send an email to UUA President Peter Morales or the UUA moderator Jim Key demanding that they just move it in terms of withdrawing the false blasphemous libel accusation that the UUA brought against me in 2012 or any other UU perversion of justice. She will not say just move it to John Inder, the president of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, in terms of trying to settle the dispute that caused me to protest in front of the church. Good day, sir. What's that?
You got a warmer Sunday.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
I was snowshoeing yesterday up in La Naudière.
Okay, right.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
You'd think there'd be no new snow. On the top of the ridges, it was like this.
Great.
Yeah, it was hard work.
I haven't done any winter sports yet, but I used to do a lot of cross-country skiing. But,
well, what I
not
like
lately.
about this time of the year is that that's back,
Yeah.
but the snow's still good.
Right, and also it's not that cold because
Yeah.
when the sun's back, it's often very, very cold.
Yeah, I was sweating like a pig yesterday.
Oh,
too.
good. Yeah, get
As long
some
as the wind
exercise.
is down
Yeah,
and you move,
yeah.
you're gonna warm.
Yeah, you know, I'm quite aware of that. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm moving.
Take a Sunday off and go skiing.
I can do both. I can do both. Lots of time for my alternative spiritual practice and skiing. So, thank you anyway. Have a good day. Not too many people get to bask in the glory of being accused of blasphemy in 21st century Canada. Yeah. So that's a passerby who, oh, who's this coming along? Okay, I think I know who it is.
Morning.
Good morning. And it wasn't who I thought it might be, actually. The face is familiar, but it's not the face that of the person I thought it might be. So that's that. Anyhow, we should just continue our little walking back and forth here with our picket signs. I should perhaps mention that the picket sign in my right hand says Unitarian Universalists misuse Canada's blasphemy law to, and in my left hand, cover up and deny pedophilia and rape, which is an entirely truthful statement. Oh, I got the look of death again. This young lady just gives me the glare of death every time she walks by me, or almost every time. Last week, I think it was the first time in ages where she did give me a glare, but it wasn't quite the glare of death that she normally does, but it was back in force today. That look, you know, if looks could kill kind of thing. So, anywho, she obviously doesn't like the fact that I'm protesting.
You ever feel like you're tilting at windmills?
More like tilting at windbags, actually.
Like, what's that character there, you know?
The man of La Mancha? Or the...
Yeah, Don Quixote. Yeah,
Don Quixote.
You want to be my Sancho Panza? Yeah, no, I call it tilting at wind bags. It's, but yeah, I understand your point. I understand your point. That's kind of fun because this passerby, whose face is familiar, asked me if I feel like I'm tilting at windmills. As per Don Quixote, the man of La Mancha. And of course, due to Unitarian Universalists obstinately refusing to deal responsibly with the reasons for my protest continues, and it's been going for quite some time now. And of course, the fellow was trying to suggest, don't I think that perhaps what I'm doing isn't really having much effect. And in fact, I think I've had a certain amount of effect, even if Unitarian Universalists don't properly deal with the specific issues that I'm protesting against in a timely manner. I think my protest has put a certain amount of pressure on them, and they are addressing some of the issues that I'm protesting against, albeit in a somewhat reluctant and even, how can I put it, not really entirely correct way. Just the fact of being served a very arrogant and aggressive cease and desist demand letter that falsely accuses you of the criminal act of blasphemous libel for allegedly making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the Unitarian Universalist Association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. It's a pretty clear indication that you're having a bit of an impact on head office, as it were. And they certainly wanted my blog post to disappear. And of course, I did not remove so much as a comma, because there's nothing unfounded about the blog posts that I've put up about Unitarian Universalists who've actually been convicted of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. The interesting thing too is having been accused of blasphemous libel, which I didn't even know Canada had a blasphemy law on the books when I was accused, but I of course did the free and responsible search for truth and meaning of Maitre Marc-André Coulombe's accusation against me, and discovered that yes, Canada does have a blasphemy law, and that it prohibits blasphemous libel against the religious community. Blasphemous libel is not defined in the law itself, so you have to go to jurisprudence to see what exactly blasphemous libel is. And essentially it comes down to deeply insulting, slandering, libeling the core religious beliefs of a religious community. So this is the interesting thing. Yes, I've put up some blog posts about Unitarian Universalists who've been convicted of engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, to use Maitre Marc-André Coulombe's own words. But even if my accusations were false, which is not the case, this would not amount to blasphemous libel. The only circumstance under which I could be guilty of blasphemous libel against the Unitarian Universalist religious community for blog posts that criticize Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and rapists is if engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape were somehow held sacred by Unitarian Universalists. And to the best of my knowledge, this isn't the case. It's certainly not in any of the 7 principles claimed by Unitarian Universalists. Maybe it's some kind of secret doctrine that only initiated are aware of. You have to be an initiated member of the inner sanctum of the church before you are told of this, principle or sacred duty of Unitarian Universalists. And of course, I'm being very sarcastic here, but it's just ludicrous that the Unitarian Universalist Association would stoop so low as to falsely accuse me of the archaic crime of blasphemous libel in efforts to hide online evidence of Unitarian Universalists who've been convicted of pedophilia and rape. It's very immoral, unethical, indeed borderline criminal behavior on the part of Unitarian Universalist Association leadership. I say borderline criminal because bringing false accusations against someone to the police or prosecutors is a criminal act known as public mischief, and they're one step away from public mischief. If they tried to have me charged with blasphemous libel for allegedly making unfounded and vicious allegations, the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes, pedophilia and rape, I would be able to have them charged with the criminal act of public mischief for making a false report to the police or prosecutors. So that is what I mean when I speak of the borderline criminal behavior of top-level UUA leadership, such as UUA President, Reverend Dr. Peter Beyond Belief Morales, former UUA Executive Vice President Kathleen K. Montgomery, who is was the UUA leader who was most directly involved in coordinating the work of the attorneys of the Unitarian Universalist Association. That is part of her job description. So Kathleen K. Montgomery is almost certainly the UUA leader, the high-level UUA leader, who had the most hands-on responsibility for having the UUA hire Stikeman Elliott, barristers and solicitors, to falsely accuse me of the crime of blasphemous libel for allegedly making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the Unitarian Universalist Association